take a deep breath, take the higher road. That's what they always say, as if they know the way. They won't take it from me. But don't ever doubt yourself, 'cause life ain't just a dream. You make your own, so kick and scream. The people will act with a never-ending force. You never had the chance, so what you waiting for? The day has come, my friend, 'cause this is war. It's time and this is war.
I've said it many times. There is nothing more fulfilling than walking in your calling. I'm not talking about just another job or a fleeting passion. I'm talking about that deep-seated, soul-stirring conviction that you were put on this earth for a specific reason. It's that inner voice that whispers, no, it shouts, this is what you were born to do. Walking in your calling isn't about following a predetermined path or living up to someone else's expectations. It's about tuning into your unique gifts, your innermost desires, and the impact that you want to make on this world. It's about aligning your actions with your values and letting your authentic self shine through in everything that you do. But here's the kicker. Discovering and embracing your purpose isn't always a walk in the park. It's a journey of self-discovery. It's filled with twists, turns, and sometimes, many times, moments of doubt. It requires courage to look within, to question the status quo, and to step out of your comfort zone. The beauty of all of it is that once you start walking in your calling, God conspires to support you in every way. Doors open, opportunities arise, and you'll find yourself surrounded by like-minded individuals who fuel your passion and propel you forward. Walking in your purpose isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about making a difference. It is about leaving your unique imprint on the world. Whether your calling is to heal, to create, to teach, or to innovate, you have the power to touch lives and create ripples of positive change. Are you prepared to silence the noise of societal expectations and listen to the beating of your own heart? Are you willing to take that leap of faith and step into the life that you were meant to live? The world needs your gifts, your passion, and your purpose. Ask yourself the question, when your purpose comes calling, will you answer? You're listening to Nurses Out Loud on America Out Loud Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton. Before we get started today, I do want to encourage our listeners, if you have questions or comments, or perhaps you want to share your own experiences with what you're seeing on the front lines of healthcare, you can now submit those to us by emailing them directly to nurses@americaoutloud.com. We would love to hear from you. We encourage all of you to engage in the battle and find your voice in this fight. But until you are able to do that, we will continue to be that voice for you. Joining me today is my good friend and frequent collaborator, Kevin Tuttle. Through Kevin's life experiences, including growing up in Alaska, living in a recently liberated communist country, to fighting for medical freedom, he went on a journey that allowed forgiveness, redemption, and reconciliation. Kevin is the founder and president of Spirit PR. He is a husband and father whose activism in the medical freedom movement has propelled him to his current position of spreading truth through the stories of people who believe in the Creator, who are trying to help humanity and believe that freedom is a gift from God. Kevin, thank you for joining me again.
Nurse Kimberly, it's so nice to be with you once more. Thank you for having me on.
Public relations, Kevin. It's great to
That's
have
right. Thank you. Thank you for the official title.
Absolutely. Well,
Very
you did the
respectful.
Nurse Kimberly thing, and we have to go with it. So, Kevin, this will be I believe this is now your third time being on my show. I believe this is a record, by the way. I don't think
Really? I hold the record?
I believe so. I don't even think I've had any repeats other than you, to be honest with you. I think you're the only one that has made it on my show more than once, and now you are here 3 times. But, we always have such a great conversation, and I have always, not just on the first episode, but the second one as well, I've gotten such incredible feedback on our episodes. I don't know why.
It's my relatives. So
These are your relatives. Oh, that's what it
yeah.
is. I don't know, but people seem to like you, Kevin.
Well, I like them too. So no, really, thank you for having me on again. We do have great conversations, and
You do.
thankfully, not the audience can hear it all the time, because we have a lot of conversations off air that probably should remain off air.
I was
So
going to say they may not be suitable for the airwaves.
yes.
That is very, very true, Kevin. But let's tell, we left off. We've the first time that you came on, we talked a great deal about PMAs because your organization is a private membership association, as is mine.
Right.
And we talked a great deal about that really being the way forward for many of the companies and organizations, throughout the country, that we need to just break away from all of the bureaucratic red tape and all of the government overreach, and we need to start building anew. So that was the first time that we met. The second time that we met, you had just moved to Israel, and I
Hmm.
believe it was you. I think you moved. You've been there a year this month. Is that right?
Yes, got here on August 6th last year. So we
Yeah.
just had our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah. And then I think it was October when the horrific attacks occurred in Israel. And
Yes.
I do remember telling you, you may remember me telling you before you left, like, I don't know, Kevin, I think I just don't have a good idea about you going. And then that happened.
Right. And we're talking now on a night when, we're threatened by many countries around us, Iran's proxies and all sorts of potentially dangerous situations where we could get attacked from various fronts. But you know what? This is where God called me. So
Yeah.
this is where he wants me. And there's no fear in that. So I'm thrilled to be here still. A lot has happened over this last year, but man, so many blessings too. So, very up and down year, though, I will admit.
Right. And I think for all of us, but I will say, and that's why I think that you are the perfect guest to have when we're talking about walking in our calling, because that's what you do. That's how you live your life. I've honestly never met anybody more convicted than you, Kevin. I mean, you're so convicted in the way that you walk in your calling. It's like you don't even question it. You just do it. And and I give you a
Well, that
hard
means a
time.
lot to me.
I know I give you a hard time about it, but I mean, I have so much respect for you. I was, for selfish reasons, of course, did not want you to go to Israel. I was just saying the other day to somebody, I said, all these conferences that I go to now, and I don't have Kevin anymore to keep me straight and keep me out of trouble. You are missed.
It was a lot of work for me. So
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. But yeah, I was telling somebody just the other day how much I missed my friend Kevin, and I wish that he was here. But I know that you're walking in your calling and doing amazing things. So give us an update on Spirit PR. When we first talked, I was, I guess, a little over a year ago now that we talked about you founding Spirit PR and the reasons why you founded that. But where have you gone with that since we first spoke?
well, I've still maintained it. Clients come and go, which is pretty normal in this field. Most people don't have a story to tell that they want to tell for the next 5 years or anything. So relationships tend to be, fairly short, 3 to 6 months. And, so I've had several clients come and go during that time. And um, it's been a great experience overall I, I would like to say both sides. I hope so. I haven't received any complaints directly. So, yeah, I continue to create those relationships with podcasters out there who really care about the people that they have on their shows. They care about their message. They're not just bringing somebody on their show to fill a spot, right? They really want to know what this person is talking about, and those are the relationships that I pride myself on. Is the heart-centered podcast hosts who know what they're there for, who understand that they have a platform that is important, and we need to have guests on that show that have something important to say. And, they may not always agree with my clients. They may not agree with that message, but they're willing to have them on. And that's something that the mainstream media can't profess.
Right.
You have shows like The View and stuff now that actually used to be a more moderate show where there were two sides. And then it transitioned somewhere along the way to being fully on the left. And you can't even, you're crazy if you're a conservative coming on that show. You're just going to be attacked. And so, yeah, it speaks to the character of these podcast hosts who really want to listen to both sides of an argument.
Right. And I will say I've gotten some of my most incredible guests have come directly from Kevin and his recommendations. So you do hear Kevin's name quite a bit on my show, not only when he joins me, but I usually will give him a shout out when I get a great guest. Like Megan Smith, you
Yes,
gave me Megan Smith, didn't you?
I did. Yeah,
Yes,
Megan was great to work with, and
Megan was
yeah,
fantastic.
you're one who's always willing to have on the people that I recommend, and it's because you have a fantastic show and you have an open heart and you care. So those are the requirements. You got to have a good show. You got to have an open heart. You got to care.
Well, I'm glad I'm checking somebody's boxes. So that's fantastic. So tell me about, I know that you've been working a little bit with an organization called Q Streaming. And I know a little bit about it, but I want to understand it a little bit better. If you can help me to understand this a little bit better. I know that many of us are trying to cut ties with cable TV, right? We've been paying a lot of money for cable TV for however many
Yes.
years, and we all know it's time to cut the strings with that. But there were so many. I can remember wanting to do this when, my late husband, and he would never allow me to do it because of the sports. Like he's like, but I have to have the SEC network, and I couldn't
Right.
not even consider allowing me to even look at anything that would cut off the cable because of that. So I want to learn a little bit more about Q streaming, what it offers, and how our listeners might be able to finally make that cut.
Yeah. So first of all, it was called Q Streaming. They changed their name recently, so it's actually called Q Broadcast now. You can look it up at cuebroadcast.com. But what it is, it's a streaming service that has all your shows, all the channels, the premium channels, the movie channels, HBO, Showtime, all of those, um, thousands and thousands of movies and shows on demand. It's got everything on there that you could possibly want. What makes it really unique are a couple things. The first is you no longer have to pay for, the NFL season is coming up. And you don't have to pay for the NFL Sunday ticket, for example, or Major League Baseball package or the NBA packages. All of these are included in your $59.99 per month fees that you pay to Q. And there is nothing else out there like it. I mean, right now, so YouTube, I don't know if you're familiar, but YouTube streaming owns the rights for the NFL Sunday ticket. And I think your monthly fees for YouTube is about $80 a month. Plus, then they want $450 for the NFL Sunday ticket. And I think they give you a discount if you're already subscribed to YouTube. But nevertheless, that's what they're selling this for. $450 is a lot of money, especially in this economy under I won't get into politics, but under this administration. If you haven't noticed, the inflation has gotten pretty bad. So, $450 could be used to feed your family and take care of them. But yeah, so you get all of these games included, even like pay-per-view, those big MMA fights and whatnot. Those are typically $80 to $100 as well. Those are included on the platform. So all you have to do is you go to, well, first of all, you might want to check out what channels and stuff are available. So you want to go to cuebroadcast.com. But then, yeah, to sign up, I can give you that link if you'd like to put it in the show notes. But it's a really easy sign up process, and it works best. It'll work on your phone, on your tablet, on the computer, on your TV, of course. And on the TV, it works best with Amazon Fire Stick 4K Max. That's the one that you would want to buy. And then it has a easy app to download, and you're up and going. So um, the other great thing about it is for conservative voices, for one, you know, they've been censored over the last several years, and their networks, their channels have been taken off of, you know, if it's DirecTV or Dish Network or Comcast, whatever, they're removing these shows. And Q Broadcast believes in the First Amendment. This company is created by some guys out of Indiana, so they're just trying to give a voice to both sides. You know, they still have MSNBC on there and all the leftist channels if you want to watch those, but they're not censoring or deleting the voices of the opposition, of others. So it's a great service overall. And the only thing that they refuse to let on there are pornography channels. And, you know, as a father, I think that's a very important thing to not have to worry about what your kids are watching on there. And, you know, so they believe in family values too.
That's fantastic. And that's something that we don't see nearly enough of in this day and age, unfortunately. So you mentioned the sport packages, the NFL Sunday Ticket and the MLB games. Are there any blackout restrictions? I know that was a deal for me when I was doing the MLB back in the day when I actually had time to watch sports. That it was always an issue about blackouts. Are there any blackout restrictions for these games?
No, and that's because how it operates is, so you're not getting the NFL Sunday Ticket, for example, but it has every market in the United States on its platform. So I'm a Denver Broncos fan, for example. I want to watch the Broncos game, but I live in Wisconsin, you know, so I'm going to have to watch the Packers games. But I can go outside of that market and watch the game that I want. So if there is a blackout in your area, for example, name a terrible team. Typically, it's Las Vegas Raiders. I'll name them because I hate them. So
I thought you were going to say the Boston Red Sox, and I was going to come through this computer at you.
No, we're trying to stick to the NFL theme here, Kimberly, if you could follow along.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, sorry, my bad.
So say you're in Las Vegas, the Raiders don't sell out, they have a blackout, they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, you can just go to the Kansas City market and watch the game from there versus your local Las Vegas channel. So that's how they get around having to purchase the sports packages. So no, there's no blackouts. I mean, technically, yes, you might be blacked out in your local market, but then you just go to the other market and you can still see that game.
So, as you know, I am from Boston, and I am a huge Boston Red Sox fan. Now, I used to watch NESN, New England Sports Network, when I was home in Boston. So I would be able to tune in and watch that, to watch the games.
Yes, I believe that's on there. Yes, I'm 99% sure it is. My son and I are Chicago Cubs fans, so we watch Marquee Sports. That's on there. We have Valley has a bunch of different channels, and I think I scroll by the New England Sports Network when I'm looking for Marquee sometimes. So I see it on there. I'm fairly certain that I do.
Oh, fantastic. Well, then I'll have to check it out. I am definitely thinking about giving up some of my, not all of my responsibilities in the fight for medical freedom, but I am looking to kind of, step back a little bit and kind of reclaim a little bit of my life. Many people know that I have gone back to work, so I'm back working full time.
Yes. So, congratulations. I think that's great. And I don't know about you, Kimberly, but when you're in the medical freedom realm for years, as you are, as I've been, it gets exhausting.
Yes.
Sometimes you're spent. You feel like you're fighting all the time, just to be left alone. It's like you have to fight for that. So,
and unfortunately, it's like you're not just fighting the fight for medical freedom. A lot of times you're fighting each other in the movement itself, and not
in the movement. Yeah.
It's so exhausting. It's so challenging. Like, we don't have enough on our plates that we should be really coming together for the bigger, the greater good. But sometimes that doesn't always happen. And it's exhausting, it's disappointing, it's not
Yeah.
really
Well,
something I want to partake in.
there's human nature in the medical freedom movement too. There's jealousy, there's, you know, making up lies about people. There's all sorts of stuff that
Yeah, I've experienced a
is
little bit of that.
exhausting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It,
I can
it
imagine.
definitely is. It definitely is. It's been very disheartening, especially when you're in this for, for the right reasons, and you're really wanting to, just do the right thing. Just stand for righteous truth and just stand for freedom. And, it's
Mhm.
unfortunate and it's sad that, we're not allowed to do that. Or, if you don't do it exactly the way somebody would want you to do it, it's, um, I don't know. They just,
Yeah, then you're condemned.
you're
Yeah,
condemned is the word. Thank you.
I get it. Yeah.
And it's hard, but so I am back to working full time. I'm not going to really share too much publicly, but where I'm working, I am working I took a management position with a hospice company. And I am so far really liking it, but it is an adjustment, getting back into the grind, if you will, the Monday through Friday, the rat race, the 9 to 5.
Hmm.
I haven't had to do that for quite some time. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment period. I'm sure it'll take me a little while to get back into it, but
Yeah, you just have to give yourself that grace too.
right,
You
right.
know,
But I am looking forward to, the some normalcy, having some normalcy in my life again, because these last 4 years, and I know you know what I'm talking about, Kevin, there's nothing normal about the life that we live in
no.
this movement, and it's everything suffers. Your personal life suffers, your family suffers, and everybody suffers, your sanity, all of it. So I'm definitely looking forward to just returning to a little bit of normalcy. Like I said, I will be, of course, keeping my platform here on Nurses Out Loud. I'm not going anywhere, so I will be continuing that. I will be continuing. Conferences will be very limited, very, very limited, especially since I don't have you here anymore to help me out.
Mhm.
And we will continue to push forward with Remnant, Remnant Healthcare, what we're building. It's really making a difference for people, and I'm really incredibly proud of it, and incredibly proud of the team that we've been able to assemble to assist people.
Yeah, it's
But
amazing what you're doing there.
yeah,
I'm so proud of you, everything you've been doing over these last few years.
thank you. That means so
You've
much.
grown so much, and I don't say that disparaging way as far as, I'm up here and you were this little child coming into it. I don't mean it like that at all. You were immediately a mentor and somebody to look up to in this movement, from the moment you stepped into it by refusing to, recommend this dangerous shot for children. So good on you for sticking to your morals and ethics and everything you've created along the way to create that alternative economy. And, you know, kind of circling back to Q Broadcast with that, that's what it does too. Why do we keep having these payments or monthly bills go to companies who really hate what we stand for?
Yeah.
I'm not for abortion. I don't want to pay for a company to send money to Planned Parenthood and these types of things. And so, Q Broadcast doesn't do any of that. In fact, they actually give money back to you if you'd like. Like when you sign up, there's an option to sign up as an independent sales agent, as I am, and you get 10% back of anyone that you sign up. So, it's 59.99 for anyone to sign up, and you get $6 a month, but returned to you from any of those signups. So, I mean, if you think of somebody who's got a big social media platform and they sign up 100 people, I mean, that's $600 a month that you're getting that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So it's a
I'll
great,
almost pay your grocery bill in this economy. Almost.
yeah, well, at least a small basket. So, but no, it's a really great business model that they have. And, let's stop supporting these organizations that don't see or don't have our same values, that don't see eye to eye with us.
I completely agree. I've actually done, I don't know if you've heard these, but I've done several episodes. I actually did a series with the Freedom Chamber where we're talking with pro-American businesses, and we are always making that point and trying to drive that point home. Why do we continue to do business with people who hate us? They don't
Right.
even to breathe the same air as us, but yet we keep giving them our money. And in many ways, it's because they have almost a monopoly on a lot, especially the technology side of it. I know that there's a lot of like payment processors that are outside, but their technology doesn't talk to, they don't integrate well with the different websites. It makes it really difficult to step outside of these mainstream companies to work with somebody who's more like-minded. But we've done several shows on that and championing these pro-American businesses. And I think that's something that I really want to continue to do is highlight companies like Q Broadcasting, that are making a difference. They are, standing in their values and standing in truth. And those are the people that we should be giving our hard-earned money to, not these people that quite literally, like I said, they don't want to share air with us. So
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Their fees are astronomical anyway. I remember I was with DirecTV for many years because I was a football fan, so I always wanted the NFL Sunday ticket, and they had it. And it was, I think, when I finally walked away from DirecTV, it was about $140 a month that I was paying, and that didn't include the Sunday ticket, and that didn't include like HBO and all those channels. It was just the regular stuff. And think about, man, how much money did I waste over those years?
right.
So yeah, we can create that alternative economy, the alternative healthcare, just better ways. And I would venture to guess that your clients that you have in remnant nursing are receiving much better care in this alternative medical system than they were otherwise, which is why they came to you to begin with, because they were unsuccessful, on the other path, right?
I would definitely like to think so. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no denying that the medical system is completely broken and there's no such thing as healthcare in this system. It's completely a sick care system, which I believe is just completely unsustainable and unfixable. And I'm really proud of what we've been able to create with Remnant Healthcare and the way that our clients are having such incredible success and finding health and wellness is
Hmm.
just amazing. And I've even thought about taking, my own advice and doing some of the things that I encourage other people to do. Like, well, if I can tell I see all of, our clients are doing this and they're doing so well, why don't I just do it for myself and my own health? So that's a journey as well. But yeah, it's been a lot. I'm actually juicing now. That's a whole other story. Um, but I am juicing regularly. I've made a commitment to that. And
Nice.
it's
Good.
like just about being that, doing that intentional, making those small sustainable changes. And it's
Hmm.
it's been working so far. So yeah, we're on the right path
Great.
for sure. For sure. Well, we're coming up on a break, but there is so much more to dig in with you. As Kevin, there's always so much to talk about with you. But we're gonna get into a break here, and then we will come back. And I want to definitely hear more about your journey in Israel.
Okay, great.
America Out Loud Talk Radio plays on the iHeartRadio network. You can also listen on our media player from any web browser, anywhere in the world. We have the best in class apps available on Apple, Android, or Alexa 24/7. Great Talk Radio. All of our shows go to podcast the following day. You can hear them on apps such as Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeart Podcasts, and many more. Be sure to subscribe and rate the show on Apple Podcasts for me. Don't forget to check out our online store at americaoutloud.shop, where you can find all of the products that we represent on our network at a discounted rate, including an incredible line of products from Chemical Free Body. Unlike the majority of supplements you'll find on the market today, with Chemical Free Body, you won't have to worry about harmful ingredients, binders, fillers, or flow agents. Their ultra safe breakthrough nanosilver technology destroys pathogens, balances the microbiome, and boosts immunity. All of these products are proudly made in the USA and are backed by an unheard of double your money back guarantee. I've made a twice daily Green 85 drink part of my routine, which has led to a decrease in belly bloat and an increase in my energy throughout the day. Use promo code OUTLOUD to save 20% off the Healthy Gut Bundle. I'll catch you on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Got gastrointestinal issues? We created a 3-step, doctor-formulated, completely natural gut reboot system that takes less than 2 minutes a day to start working for you. Step 1. Gut Detox Formula, a gentle way to clean the intestines and balance the body. Step 2, Nano Silver Solution, a safe way to restore gut bacteria balance and protect us from pathogens. Step 3, Green 85 Juice Formula, a simple way to replace the 85% of nutrition farmed out of our soil so our body can repair itself and increase energy levels. Go to chemicalfreebody.com/outloud today. Get the Malcolm Healthy Gut Bundle, reboot your gut and your energy, and save 20% on your first order.
Don't accept joint aches and stiffness as part of aging. Doctors at Advanced Nutrition Company, Healthy Cell, created joint health and mobility to support connective tissue, joint lubrication, and reduce joint irritation with curcumin, omega-3, chondroitin, glucosamine, and hyaluronic acid for joint comfort and flexibility. And Healthy Cell's not a pill, it's a gel you swallow. Get 100% drug-free joint support. Go to healthycell.com and use code OUTLOUD for 25% off your first order. That's healthycell.com. Code OUTLOUD.
Clean, pure, with premium ingredients. Global Healing's Pure Plant Protein offers 20 grams of protein per scoop, and it's a perfect way to maintain and build lean muscle while indulging yourself. It combines enzymes and probiotics to maximize nutrient absorption, improving digestion and your gut health. Available in vanilla and chocolate flavors, elevate your protein consumption while supporting your overall wellness with Pure Plant Protein. Go to americaoutloud.shop and get 15% off using the code OUTLOUD. Global Healing, giving you the power to take control of your health naturally.
The Wellness Company is offering the Signature Series Spike Support Formula. The Wellness Company supports this formula because it's designed to remove spike protein from the body. The Spike Support Formula is designed to help the body catabolize the spike protein, begin to remove it through its natural mechanisms. So go to twc.health and check out the Spike Support Formula. You can use our promotional codes or go through our banner bars on our site to get promotional codes and discounts on your purchase.
Worried about spike protein? Dr. Peter McCullough and the Wellness Company may have a solution. Get the incredible American-made, GMO-free spike formula from the Wellness Company. Go to twc.health and use promo code OUTLOUD for an exclusive discount.
Many voices, one freedom, united in the First Amendment. Our goal is to herald the voice of genuine liberty at AmericaOutloud.news, a place where you'll find the naked truth expressed with a patriotic heart. Now is our time, my fellow Americans. America Out Loud Talk Radio. Liberty and justice for all.
Welcome back to Nurses Out Loud on America Out Loud Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton. Wherever you're listening from today and whatever you're doing, I thank you for giving me the gift of your time. Be sure to make AmericaOutloud.news your daily stop for all the latest news and happenings. We all must do our part and share the stories, the articles, the podcasts, and videos so we can help secure America's future. Let's jump right back in. If you're just joining us, I've been talking with the founder and CEO of Spirit PR and my good friend, Kevin Tuttle. Kevin, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Absolutely. And the topic that we're discussing today, we talked a lot about answering the call, walking in your calling and in your purpose for your life. And I said that, like I said in the beginning, and I have said many times, that there is nothing more fulfilling than walking in your calling and answering that call and finally realizing what it is you are here for. And, Kevin, like I alluded to earlier, you are probably, you're like one of the most convicted men I've ever met. I've never met anybody that is so convicted. And I want to hear, I know that you recently, partook in a ceremony, if you will. I want to hear all about this. I want you to share this with the listeners, how you felt called. And like I said, you've been called to do many things and you always answer. And this is just the latest example. So I would love for you to share this incredible story.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the platform. I've never had the opportunity to speak about this on a podcast before. So, it's the first time for everything. So, this story takes a bit to unfold, but I'll start at the beginning. So I was born in Germany, and this was not a common practice in Germany. And so obviously I'm heading down the circumcision lane. So we'll get it out there so you know what's happening. But I was not circumcised as a baby. And so when for the last 4.5 years, especially since I reconciled my life with God, and in reading scripture and reading the Torah, especially over that time, I saw over and over again that circumcision is really important to God. And I can't get into the medical realm of how important is it to an individual or for medicinal purposes or medical purposes. And that's beyond or beside the point to me. The point was the scriptures said you must be circumcised, and it hurt my heart that I wasn't. And when I moved to Israel a year ago, that's when I really started looking into surgery to make this happen. But I didn't want to get just go to a hospital and have it do the surgery in this cold, unmoving manner. I wanted something more of a ceremony, as you mentioned. And yeah, so how this unfolded was just remarkable because first thing I did was pray about it. Like, I don't know where to find somebody to help me with this. And we needed to get a reverse osmosis water system installed in the house. So the guy who came over to install it happened to be a rabbi. This is what he does in the afternoons. He does this water career. And so we just started chatting. I was new to Israel, so he was asking me questions. And a few weeks later, I happened to run into him in town, and I kept seeing this guy over and over. And we ended up moving from one house to another, and we needed to get the system installed again. So I called him up again. And so anyway, he and I became friends. And I asked him one day, I invited him over for coffee, and I just flat out asked him, said, this is a situation. I feel very convicted about this. And, and are you thinking, okay, I was 47 years old at this time, I'm going to be circumcised. But then you read the scripture and you realize the first person who was circumcised was Abraham, and God told him to do it. And you know how old Abraham was? He was 99 years old. So I thought, all right, if a 99-year-old guy can do this, then you know what, I can handle this. And I'm pretty sure he didn't have any numbing devices of any sort. And I don't know if it was just biting down on a stick back then. And I wonder, did they just hack, or was it slow cutting? I don't know. I don't know how you do that to yourself anyway. But I'm grateful to live in this day and age where there was actually some numbing that could occur. But anyway, yeah, so he arranged this circumcision down at a different rabbi's house near Tel Aviv, and it was a a bizarrely beautiful day. Like I never anticipated such a thing, because I'm sitting in this apartment basically, and there's one of the rooms has a big table in it, and there's all sorts of rabbis going in and out of this place, and then there's another room where he turned it into the surgical room that, it's all sterilized and all that. But I didn't know. Nobody explained to me how the surgery is going to go. I had no idea. And so he invites me back in the room, and there's the table. So I lay on the table, and he basically just, all right, pull down your pants, and he put a sheet just below my chin as I'm laying on my back, so I can't see anything that's going on. Thank God.
That's probably for the
That is
best.
absolutely. And yeah, so he's prepping me, that sort of thing. And again, there's several people walking in and out of the room. I'm laying on the table, but I can see that there's people coming in and out, and they don't look like doctors or anybody, but they're religious Jews. And it comes to the point where, I'm numbed up. We're almost ready to go with the ceremony, and my dad is there. So he goes out in the hallway to get my dad in there, and the rabbi that set this up for me. And so there's 9 people in this room overall. And I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know it was a viewing
It's kind
type
of like
of
when you're
situation.
giving birth in the hospital, right? There's like so many people that are in there. It's not like a private situation, but by the time you're ready to push your baby into the world, you really don't care at that point who's in there. Just let's get the baby.
I kind of felt the same. I couldn't see what was going down, beneath my chin anyway. So I was like, all right, I think there's a bunch of people in here, but all right, whatever. This is how we're doing it. And it was so bizarre, Kimberly, when the surgeon, he put down, because the tray of tools was right above my face, right? Because that's how, so the blanket was on my chin, the tray was right above my face, so I could hear the tools being lifted up and placed down on the tray. And he placed the tools down, and he just started singing and clapping, like in the midst of the surgery, and praising God that I was obeying, that I was fulfilling the commandment set about that I wasn't able to fulfill as a child. I didn't have that choice. So it was a big deal to him and to the other men in this room to celebrate. And it got me really emotional, because I never thought that it would be such a joyous occasion, right? I thought it was a surgery, and that was kind of it. But as the surgery was wrapping up, each one of those people in the room came over to me and asked for my blessing and asked me to pray something for them. They would have a request, and that was the most moving element of all of this. They said, the belief is, because you are obeying God right now in this very important ritual, that you're the closest person to God on this earth at the moment. So your prayers have more power. So they all wanted me to pray for them. And I was just like overwhelmed at this whole process of, placing my hand on a gentleman's head and praying for him. And my rabbi friend where I live, he was there too. And he asked me to pray for his daughter, that she finds a husband, because they've been looking for a husband for her. And um, it was just such an honor. Like, this is bizarre what's happening, but so beautiful at the same time. And yesterday we got invited to his daughter's engagement party, because 30 days after I had prayed for him, she found her soon-to-be husband, and they're getting married soon. So when I found that out yesterday, when he invited me to the party, I said, wait, is this the same daughter that I prayed for? He's like, oh my gosh, yes, it is. It is her.
Wow, Kevin.
And I was just blown away. And, I'm not going to, profess that I had something to do with that, or this is, my doing at all, but maybe it did help. Maybe God did honor, that humbleness that people had to have me pray for them. And I was just super, super honored to be in that room and to take part in this ceremony with my dad. Afterwards, my dad and I just had a long embrace, and he was so incredibly proud of me. It was, besides like my wedding and my two kids being born, it was the most special day of my life.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you definitely answer the call, as I said earlier. I mean, that when you started to, kind of get that download, if you will, like that this is something that you were really convicted and being called to do. What did you think at first? Did you think like, what? Like, are you sure? Like, this is what you want me to do? I've had that
Yeah.
conversation with God. I'm like, God, are you sure you want me to give up my job and my home and my finances? Are you absolutely sure before I go ahead and do this? So, like, did any of those like kind of doubting, questioning type of things, or was it just something you automatically?
Yeah. When you have those doubts, though, when you have those doubts, it's like that word keeps coming up in situations that you wouldn't expect. You turn on the TV and there's a show and they say circumcised in the show. Like, what the heck? How is that coming up now? And,
Right.
there's just constant reminders that, hey, you're not obeying. And, I vowed 4.5 years ago when I prayed to God to forgive my sins, that I would do whatever it is that He wanted me to do. Whatever He was placing on my heart, I would obey. And you know what? It was a scary thing. I mean, like I said, a 47-year-old man doing this. But disobedience was a far worse punishment than something that could have gone wrong in that surgery room. Like that, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself there. But afterwards, there was no negative effects whatsoever. There's hardly any pain. It was very quick healing. Like it was great. Like everyone should do it.
I
Everyone
was
get
going
out
to
there.
say, are you just recommending it for everyone? So everybody, if you're not circumcised, Kevin highly recommends it.
No, and the other really important part of this story, though, is my rabbi friend, before the surgery happened, he had called me and he said, "Hey, have you thought of a new name?" And I said, "No, I've been thinking of one, but I don't have one picked out yet because you get to choose a name for yourself when you do this, Hebrew name." And I couldn't think of, anything that was so important because it's very important that you find a name that means something. And so he suggested, he said, "Can I just suggest a name? You don't have to take it, but Akiva was that name." He said, "It sounds similar to Kevin, and it means the heel, or like the part of your foot, the heel, but it also can mean protector." And when he told me that meaning, it really meant something to me because I feel like throughout this whole medical freedom time and energy and stuff, the ultimate thing that I was trying to do was just protect people, and especially my own children. So I thought, okay, this is a really beautiful name. It means something to me, and I didn't tell my dad yet. And the next morning, we were heading because he was driving me to surgery, and we had a little time before on this trip. It was like a 45-minute drive down there, and so we started talking about my name because he asked me, he's like, "Hey, did you pick a name?" And I said, "Yeah, it's Akiva." And he was quiet. And I said, "What? Is there something wrong with this name?" And I don't know if exactly when I was on the show last, Kimberly, but my mom passed away in October, right after we moved here, and at the end of October. And my dad said, "Your mom talked many years ago that if you ever moved to Israel, the name that she would pick for you would be Akiva." And I couldn't believe it when he said that. I mean, out of all the names of and all the meanings and stuff, that I chose the name that my mother picked for me years prior, and I had never known that. Tell me that that's not God. Like I can't fathom the story without God being part of that. So
That had to be so affirming to you of your decision and everything that you were doing. That just had to be so affirming that you were doing exactly what you were supposed to do and that you were right where
yeah,
you needed to be.
yeah, and then like on the way down, we got these confirmations. There's a town near my city where I live, and the town's name is Or Akiva. So we passed that sign along the way, and then we get to uh, near Tel Aviv where the surgery is going to take place, and the street that we're on is Akiva, and I'm like, okay, okay,
I get it.
I
I
get
get
it,
it, God.
God. Yeah, I'm going with Akiva. So yeah, it was a really meaningful day, and I just feel like, I God can trust me more now because I
Yeah.
think he sees that I'm serious about my commitment to him, and I'll continue to obey him in the best manner that I possibly can.
Yeah, I said I've never met anyone just more obedient to God's calling on their life than you, Kevin. And I have just a tremendous amount of respect for you and love for you. You're just amazing. I'm so proud to be able to call you a friend. And
Thank
although
you.
I do wish you would come home, but but it's okay. It's all good. Maybe one day I'll come visit you guys in Israel. We'll see.
Doors always open for you,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I'll
gonna
be back in the States at some point.
I eagerly await your return, Kevin. It will be an interesting time. We'll have to find a conference to go to for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think Tennessee is probably going to be one of the few states that will be free enough to travel to if if the Democrats have their way and cheat their way to another election win this year. So, and I just brought up politics. I didn't.
Oh no, not that, not that. Well, we're never opposed to talking about politics here, and we don't censor on America Out Loud Talk Radio whether you agree or you disagree. We will always give you a platform to share your views. And I think again, civil discourse is how we move forward as a society. Yeah, so we should be able to talk about things even when we don't agree, although we agree. So.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we're very like-minded on that front. Um, yeah, the election. I keep telling everybody buckle up because something's coming down the pike for sure. With the election, I know that they're trying. They have I think a bird flu vaccine or something is coming out. So always something to dodge,
Mm.
right? Another jab, another
Yeah.
illness. Oh, it seems that they
Something's going to get us.
miraculously every 4 years, right?
Right. Right. Just coincidentally. Yeah. Um, I recognize that people may not understand why I did this also. So I didn't find out about the circumcision. I didn't find out that I had Jewish heritage until I was 18 years old. Um, so there's a long story to all of that, but that is a big part of this as to why I wanted to go through with this. So forgive me if you guys were confused as to why the heck's he doing this all of a sudden. That was the reason. That it really touched my heart, especially after I reconciled with God, that these things matter. They matter to me. Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that one point.
Yeah. And you really embraced that once you found out about your heritage. You really embraced that, and as did I believe your parents when they moved to Israel several years ago. Is
Yeah.
that yeah?
Yeah, they moved here in the late 90s. Quite honestly, when I was 18, the only thing when I found out, I swore that I would never eat shellfish or pork again, because that was the two things that I knew that Jews didn't eat. Um, and despite the years after that, where I was so angry at God and telling him he didn't exist, and just dealing with a lot of personal things, I never broke that vow. And there were times when I was hungry, like I was deployed to Afghanistan, and they kept feeding us pork at every meal. And I'm like, I can't eat that. I lived on rice and peas for a couple weeks because I wouldn't eat the pork. And, my commander came over, like, what's going on? Why aren't you eating? And I'm like, I can't. They keep serving pork. Can we get some chicken or something? And finally, they got us some other foods. But yeah, I refused, no matter how much I told God that he didn't exist and how angry I was. There was that part of me that thought, I can't do this because I vowed to him, and I'm going to be in big trouble if he does exist, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I kept that vow. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, you definitely are. You stick with things when you make a decision like that. I've never known you to back down from something that you decided. When you've made that decision, I've seen you follow through on it. Since I've known you, you've been that way.
Thank you. I think it's so important, and especially in our society now where commitments are not taken seriously.
Yeah.
No matter what that commitment is, even if it's, yeah, I'll come over and I'll help you move, or let's meet up for a drink, or whatever that commitment is, it's so easily brushed aside for convenience sake. Oh, I don't want to drive across town. I don't want to do this. I'll just tell them I can't make it. That's the attitude that we have. And I think it's hurting our society. And if we all just took our commitment seriously, man, we could be so much closer. We could just there's more camaraderie in that sense, right? Because you can trust each other. You know that if this person says he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
Well, exactly. It used to be, a man's word was his bond, and then we
Yeah.
lost that. We've really lost that somewhere along the line. And I'm very big on that. When I give my word, I want to keep that because to me it goes back to integrity, and my integrity and my character mean everything to me. So if I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to make sure that I hold to that. Like I said, Kevin, you've done an amazing job of that. And I'm just glad to be having a great conversation and to let the listeners hear your story, which is as always incredible. I thank you so much for joining me. I can't believe we're running out of time. It goes by so quickly,
It does. Yeah.
right?
Well, everybody sign up for Q Broadcast and get circumcised.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. Maybe they could start doing a free circumcision with every sign up on Q.
right. Oh, so great.
So interesting. All right. Well, we'll include some links in the show notes for Q Broadcasting, and of course we'll link you to Kevin at Spirit PR. Kevin, thank you again for joining me for the third time, and I'm sure you'll be back again because it is always a pleasure.
Always. Thank you, Kimberly.
You're very welcome.
God bless.
You as well. And that's all the time that we have for today, friends. But remember, we are here on the air 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, with a different nurse host daily. You can also catch the encore at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be sure to tune in and listen to myself and my amazing sister nurses. As we walk you through all of these hot topics, we will empower you with information and education. We will advocate and we will stand in the gap for you because we are nurses, and this is what we do. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton, and you can find me here every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Until next time, be safe, be well, and God bless. Remember that we are in a war for truth. We are putting out a bounty on the real misinformation and exposing the purveyors of propaganda. No topic is off limits as we shine our lights and expose the darkness.
It's time